Hi, this is Frank Taylor with Nature at Your Door. I'm here in Radford City in Southwest Virginia in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains. And today's episode is going to be about one of my favorite weeds that pops up in people's backyards all the time. It's actually a non-native winter annual. It kind of grows during the winter time, and then at this time of the year, very early in the spring season when it's still cold and there's no leaves out on any other trees. In the forest, you see some bloodroot blooming, some spring beauty, so it's really one of the first flowers to bloom. And that flower is called purple dead nettle, also known as the purple monster. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why I really love this weed. Right here in your backyard, you never know what you're going to find. This weed to me is a harbinger of spring. You can find it in backyards, along fence rows, in waste places, and pretty much anywhere where there's not another plant growing. It doesn't like to grow in competition with things, and usually grows in those places in the spring that later in the summer might just be bare dirt. Its scientific name is Lamium purpureum, which actually means purple devouring monster. And I guess it might get this name because it does spread vigorously and can be invasive in several places. But here in a backyard, it's not out competing any natives here, and I don't think it's really doing any damage, and bees do love to come and get this pollen. Its common name is purple dead nettle, because its leaves do look like a nettle's leaves when it's first sprouting. Unlike a nettle, this does not have stinging hairs, and hence the name dead nettle. Is it a nettle? Actually, it's not. It's not even in the nettle family. Let's take a close look at this plant. First, if you look at its leaves, you can see they're opposite and densely packed together on top of the stem. At the top, you can see that the leaves often take on a dark color, kind of a dark purple or deep dark green, but they're definitely darker, and you see a gradation of green from the bottom going up to the top of this plant. If you take a close look at the stem, you can see that the stem is actually square in shape. That square stem is a characteristic of plants in the mint family, and this one, even though it doesn't smell like mint and it doesn't taste like mint, it is in fact in the mint family. It has very pretty, small, tubular flowers. And again, they're very common in people's lawns and backyards, so this is really a great nature at your door plant, because it's literally can be right outside your door. And again, it seems to really prefer places where it can grow, where there's no other plants growing at the same time. The coolest thing about this plant is that it's a weed and it's overlooked, and many gardeners try to voraciously get rid of it. Well, you can just eat it. It's very edible. And in fact, they're nutrition bombs. These are really nutrient dense, have many vitamins in them, especially vitamin C, and many other vitamins that you would find in fresh vegetables. And they're full of antioxidants, and really just densely packed with nutrients in comparison to some of the store-bought vegetables that have been bred and cultivated for other reasons besides just their nutrients. These are great in salads and in quiches and in stews, and I got some friends that swear by it. They say it makes the very best pesto. You might want to try it yourself sometime. Remember, I'm not a herbalist or a forager by trade. I just love all things nature and love learning about the history of these plants. These plants were most likely brought here by the settlers from Europe to use in their gardens and to provide them some early spring vitamin C after a winter of eating dried beans and dried fruits and vegetables and dried meat. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about one of our common backyard weeds. And if you like what I do, please subscribe to my channel, give me a like. Be sure to check out my playlist. And remember, I cover all things nature, from frogs, toads, snakes, turtles, myriapoda, insects, trees, wildflowers, and fungi. I cover all the things you might encounter just outside your door. So thanks again for watching this episode of Nature at Your Door here in Radford, Virginia, in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains of southwest corner of Virginia.